Mallika, as a trained Bharatnatyam practitioner, as a choreographer, as an actor, you have been very deeply invested in the politics of your performance. But also, as someone who has been very keenly interested and has participated also in formal politics, could you talk to us a bit about how you see and understand the current political climate in India?
I have been concerned and have been dismayed by the fact that what I see is a restriction on most of the freedoms that I think are part of my democratic right as an Indian, that the restriction of those freedoms is for a majority of Indians an opening up of freedoms to be majoritarian, to hate, to be violent, to be abusive. And I am deeply disturbed by that. I am also deeply disturbed that with the lockdowns of COVID and so on, so many legislations that are detrimental to what I see as India have been brought forth, and this environmental one is the latest of a whole series. But the way labor laws have changed, starting with UP and then followed by Rajasthan, where at a time when the migrants need the greatest social security, at the time when the poorest in India need the greatest time, you are taking away the modicum of something they could cling on to. They didn't really have the power to cling on to, but at least the law was on their side. So if they gathered together and found a mentor who could push it through, they could do so, and you have torn that away. There are so many of people that I respect as civil society voices, as intellectuals, as fighters for human rights, who are either in jail or who have cases against them. The latest being my colleague and somebody I respect greatly, Apurvananda, but he is just one more. It's happening every day, and the question is, who next? Harsh Mandar, there. Prashant Bhushan, there. And this is just in the last couple of weeks. But if you look at the history of politics, it is always in terms of national crisis that authoritarianism, plutocracy, theocracy grow. And I think we are, every day we think we are at the lowest possible, and yet there is another low. And to say that I am concerned would be the greatest silliness, because it is a million times more than that.
Yeah, in a lot of ways, Gujarat has turned out to be a model of sorts for what we are seeing in the rest of the country. But I'm curious whether you see some change or in how politics has evolved since BJP took over the center.
Oh, of course. I mean, I will just give you a personal example, which is that, I, as a performer, have always been the breadwinner to a large extent for Darpana, because everything I own goes to Darpana. So there was a long period after I took the then CM to the Supreme Court for the 2002 genocide, when I had friends who would regularly, not friends, corporates, but many of them happened to be IIM colleagues of mine, but otherwise major corporations who would invite me to perform at a conference or invite me to perform at one of their meetings or whatever, who would say, we can't call you in Gujarat, but that's okay, we will, it's okay for the rest of India. But now it's the rest of India, and who do we appeal to? The United Nations? This is it. I mean, there's the ocean after this. So we have no recourse. In 2005, I could go to the Supreme Court when false cases were filed against me of kabutarbazi, and I could trust the Supreme Court. Today, I wish I could say it with the same confidence, but the way habeas corpus is not looked at, the way certain cases for certain people are suddenly put on the, yes, we will hear it at midnight tonight, the way the Delhi riots have been dealt with leave little room for confidence that one has another authority who will uphold the constitution, who will uphold the difference between the legislative and the executive. There is no recourse.